This is the new MacBook Air 15-inch. Now, does it beat the 13-inch, especially when it comes to some of the sneaky pricing options that Apple has here?
This is kind of heavy, wait.
Because there's hardly any difference. Would you go with the 13 or the 15?
I'll go for the...
Hey guys, welcome back. Archie here, a fourth year medical student, and today we're gonna break down which of these MacBooks are best for you. But also, I've gone ahead and showed this to other university students for their first impressions and thoughts.
Oh my god! This is so...
And after testing this out for the past few weeks now, I do have to say, expect to have your expectations questioned in this video. And the reason that this video exists is because there's more to consider than just the fact that they are different sizes. With that different size comes a different weight, a different amount of portability, and a different ability to just use it as you wish. Now, while we're going to be talking about these two laptops, which are the M2 laptops, we cannot forget its predecessor, the M1 MacBook Air, because it is still a beast of a machine for its price. There are a few quick things that you'll notice being different with these M2 devices. You'll notice that they're thinner at 11 millimeters now. This makes both of the laptops feel ultra portable, and you just know that you can put this into your school bag and it's gonna fit. You can also just carry it with one hand. This is not possible with my 16-inch MacBook Pro just here. You'll also notice that the display is now more like the MacBook Pro. So you've got that top notch, you've got that bezel all around it, and when you join meetings, you now have a 1080p camera, so it doesn't look like you're stuck in the 2010s. And there was one big change that I noticed immediately with these laptops versus the M1, and that is the brighter screen. Now, when comparing the Air to the Pro, you can always expect that there's gonna be less ports given by Apple. But the fact that now the charger, right, is now separate from the two ports makes a huge difference. The literal reason that I didn't get one of the previous MacBook Airs, because the M1 is very fast, the reason I didn't get it is just because I couldn't plug in an external display and a USB hub at the same time, because I would have to charge the laptop. And if you have only two ports, that gets taken up. So now that I can have the MagSafe separately here, I can plug in my external display and I can plug in a USB hub. That's all I need. This is an amazing device now just because of that. When you look at the 15-inch, the assumption that you have is that this is heavy, this is bulky. But I wanted to see what people thought about that.
It's a nice, it's good to hold as well. This is kind of heavy, wait. Oh, one hand. Wait, no, this is light. I know.
This is actually, it's very light.
Yeah.
I'm surprised how light
yeah.
it is. Yeah. Here.
Wait, this is very light.
Wait, it's like, this is
yeah.
heavier.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's kind of...
And what I found is that a lot of people are much more open to this, given just the fact that this is light. If you already have a strong fixation to the 13-inch, I would consider the 15-inch as well as being a portable device. But what about the battery? Of course, you don't want to be that student who's always connected to the wall, having your charger plugged in, just because you never have enough battery left in your device. Although these laptops are quoted to have the same 18 hours of battery life as the M1, these actually last longer. Interestingly, I noticed that the 15-inch doesn't have a longer battery life, and that's probably just because the bigger screen means it's using more power. But the really important question here is, does it last the entire day? And the answer is yes. I have no issues about it. I am not worried depending on what I am doing. These last for a whole day. In terms of the speed of these machines, in something as small as this, you really do not need to be worried. The fact that these have the M2 chip, which is the same as what you're getting in the baseline MacBook Pros, these are very fast. Previously, this was not the case. The MacBook Pro would just hands down just destroy the MacBook Airs, and often a lot of people would just have to get the Pro instead. Now, if you're a normal student who's just gonna be using this device for opening lots of tabs on Google Chrome to watch lectures, a little bit of Netflix, and just general use of the laptop, then you're gonna be completely fine with this. And if you're someone who's using this for more demanding software, you're still not gonna have much of an issue. Let's say you're a programmer, let's say you do video editing, you work with photography and videography stuff as a hobby, as an amateur, these are great devices for that. You can do a little bit of 4K editing on here as well. The only thing that I would say though is that the baseline models, they come with 8 GB of RAM, which is a little bit on the low end. So if you are doing some really intense stuff and you want to just be able to work with bigger files without having to reload all of the time, then you're probably gonna have to consider upgrading to the 16 GB on purchase. But we're gonna talk about this more in a bit. Simply put, if you are considering if the MacBook Pro is for you, you would already know if it is for you. So if you're having hesitation around it, more likely than not, you're just gonna be fine with the Airs. Just remember that the Pro devices are designed for professionals now. And as a small little thing, these devices don't have any fans in them, so they're completely silent. And by the way, that doesn't cause any issues. So I'm a huge fan of that. But when choosing between these devices and other ones, we have to talk about the pricing. Because there is the Air lineup and the Pro lineup, figuring out which one to get, depending on what student you are, can be tricky with these pricing options. One thing we have to be careful with these devices is the increasing costs that come with them. They start at $1,800 and $2,200, but you may want to upgrade some features. And when you start thinking about some of these prices, then the MacBook Pro starts looking like a better deal because it's just that little bit off. And that is planned by Apple. So if you want to future-proof yourself here a little bit, you're probably looking at upgrading this from 8 gigabytes to 16 gigabytes of RAM, or maybe you're looking at increasing from 256 gigabytes of storage to 512. 8 gigabytes is gonna be more than enough if you're not doing anything like big video edits or programming. Maybe you want to consider upgrading it if you have regularly more than 100 tabs open and you want it to load quickly, but otherwise it's going to be completely fine. In most cases, upgrading the RAM is going to be a better choice than upgrading the storage because RAM is more likely to actually impact directly the feeling of the speed of the device. But you might want to consider upgrading the storage if you just feel like you're going to be working with a lot of files. You want to have it just on the device without having to always carry around a hard drive or a USB stick. And with it as well, if you've got the upgraded storage, you're going to be able to transfer files a little bit more quickly just because you're going to have that extra space to feel that speed. So what did other people select?
Would you go with the 13 or the 15?
I'll go for the 13
for uni, just to like walk around and everything. But I go for the 15 if I'm more like home staying.
Definitely.
Like online studies.
Yep.
Definitely. And that one's just easy to carry, to be honest.
And it's very big.
It's very big,
The desk space in lectures aren't that big either. It would be kind of a hassle to like move around and stuff. So yeah, go for this one.
I prefer this one, small one.
Yep.
I think I would prefer this one. The screen size is better.
Yeah.
And weight-wise, kind of okay, I can carry this.
Here's how we break all of it down. If you're going to be using a laptop in smaller spaces, like within a lecture hall and in a cramped desk, then you're probably going to go for the 13-inch. But I would highly encourage you to consider the 15-inch because it's just going to be an all-round better experience outside of those circumstances. Everyone is going to love that bigger screen where you can do more with it, especially because that's going to be most of your time studying, watching lectures, writing assignments, and doing research. And finally, you can get the 15-inch without having to get the Pro. If you want to get your best value buy, I would just go with the M1 13-inch MacBook Pro, not this one, the M1, because it's just going to be cheaper and it's still a beast of a device. But with the 15-inch coming out, this is a really great buy because now you don't have to worry about going all the way up to the 16-inch MacBook Pro. And if you notice you're upgrading the storage and the RAM, maybe you should just consider one of the baseline model MacBook Pros.